happy Saturday. You are tuned in to Hyacinth Henderson show, the Awaken Your Abundance show. We just gonna get to the business show. We'll figure out the title at another time, but it's me. It's Hyacinth Henderson. I am here each and every Saturday morning on the Henderson Financial Group Facebook page, and then I carry it over to YouTube just with some information, education, with messages for you, right? So that's what we're gonna do today. It was previously stuck in the box of the American Cream show, and that season is coming on. So the American Cream is still very much alive and well. I still will be doing things. I actually have the American Cream trademarked, so I still will be doing lots of things with that. The Cream Tribe is still up and going on. However, I am not going to box this show into that name anymore. All right, so this is where we are. They texting, everything okay? Yeah, I know we're 10 minutes late, but we're always right on time, right? All right, so here we are. We're gonna talk about, let me respond to this live. Yes, I'm live now. Yes, Diana, thank you for coming in and setting the tone. Y'all come in and set the tone, set the tone, set the tone, set the tone. Set the tone. Who are you? Diana says, I am my greatest asset. Miss Dorothy says, good morning. We are here. That is right. Set the tone, set the tone, set the tone. All right, so we're here. As you can see, I'm still home. I may venture into the office next week. But in this season, I'm still home at this point. And I wanted to share a little bit about that as I reflected. I want to tie into today's message, right? So I had an experience with COVID. I don't have an experience with COVID. I am COVID free. I've been so for several weeks now. However, I'm still home, right? And so I was kind of getting stuck into, no, I'm not going anywhere. I want to be here. I don't want to go out. And so stuck in this space. And it's like, well, Hyacinth, you can go out now. You know what I mean? Like, you can go out, you can venture out. There is another season. Are you missing messages? Are you missing things by being stuck? So I said, all right, let me tie this in. Let me tie all this in together. I believe that there is a message and a reason. And let's see how it unfolds here on Facebook and YouTube land. All right. So again, if you have not done so already, make sure you're following the Henderson Financial Group page. Make sure you save this video and share this video. Make sure as you come into this space, you affirm yourself. You are your greatest asset. You achieve the seemingly impossible. It is you. It is nobody else but you. You must make the movements to go forward. All right. So on 7 a.m., for those of you who don't know, on the Hyacinth Henderson page, not the personal profile, on the Hyacinth Henderson page, each and every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m., me and my good friend Diana George, we do a Wednesday morning power up. And so this past Wednesday, our power up was talking about the importance of choosing your tribe, finding your tribe, being who you are, who you need to be to welcome in a new tribe and new seasons in your life. And so it was a great episode. If you have not watched it yet, go back on the Hyacinth Henderson page, not personal profile, and watch that video. And so afterwards I was thinking, I was like, you know what, this is so important. Lots of times we don't realize, and I just heard slow down because I was told last week I was speeding through. So let me take slow talks and breaths and slow my words down, sound like I'm chopping and screwing it, okay? So lots of times we don't realize that and I lost my train of thought. Here we go. Lots of times we don't realize that we must move, that we must evaluate where we are. We must realize that there are messages that are being sent to us. We don't realize that the season that we're in is definitely for a purpose. However, when that purpose is done, if you don't move, you risk your life. And so I'm going to tie in some stuff here. So we talked about the importance of finding your tribe. And I said, well, you know what, let's tie this into money, right? Because I know a lot of folks are still here for money. You're here for mindset as well, but you're here for money and that abundance. And so it got me to thinking about your financial tribe, of assessing yourself, assessing where you are, and outlining your financial tribe. And so I got, okay, finding your tribe, finding your financial tribe, the seasons that you're in, Hyacinth. You're trying to stay stuck in the season of being home and not going into the office on Saturday mornings. Like, what season are you in? And then I ran across a message about the wheat and the hair. And this is from the Bible, right? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. And for most of you who don't know, my mother, Joyce Henderson, was a very powerful preacher in her time. I actually grew up in the church, right? And so then I got to a point that I was like, I've had enough church. Church is in my heart, right? right? I know, the heathen in me. I'm coming back, right? So I heard a message about the wheat and the tare. It actually was a post, and I had never heard that before. And so for those of you who don't know, let me break this down for you. So we know what wheat is. Wheat is, something that we eat. We put it in bread and all these different things. It's something that has nutrients. It's something that has value. It is a grain that is valuable. People buy and sell and trade wheat. People grow wheat for the purpose of producing more, for the purpose of providing value. I had never heard the word the tare before. And so a tare, T-A-R-E, is straw. And so it looks like wheat. And if you put it in the fields with wheat, you won't be able to know the difference between the wheat and the tare. So I heard someone briefly mention the wheat and the tare. And so that took me down the rabbit hole of getting back into my basic instructions before leaving earth, right? The Bible. So I went down that rabbit hole and I read and I said, wow, this is amazing. Because a lot of times we are amongst people who are pretending. We are amongst people who want to be a wheat so bad that they really are a tare. And so in the story, one of the less experienced people, they said, well, hey, let's cut down everything. Let's just kill everything. And so, getting my downloads. And so in the story, in the Bible story, it was no, let's not tear down everything. Let's wait and let's see, because in due time, you will be able to tell the difference between the wheat and the tare. And so I got to thinking, I said, okay, I like that story. It was good. And I went back and I said, let me go ahead and do some devotion and let me study, get in the word this week. And so I'm going to tie in to, we're going to start with Matthew, right? And it's not church. It's not a religious channel. It's not a gospel channel. It's not that. The Henderson Financial Group is not a church. I want to disclaim that. I am not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. None of that stuff. But I want to share this because I want to tie it in as it relates to the season in my life, as it relates to the season in your life and the season in your financial life, right? So we're going to tie this all in. So one thing that I want to say, I want to share with you is words don't teach. You must take action. I want to say that again. Words don't really teach. You must take action. What does that mean? You can sit here and listen to me all day. You can listen to all 3 shows, but until you take action, it's going to be hard for people to distinguish between the wheat and the tare. Are you somebody who has your finances together? Are you really wheat, somebody of substance and value, or are you pretending? Are you the wheat or are you the tare? Are you watching the shows every week? Are you driving the fancy cars? What are you doing? Are you the wheat or are you the tare? Because when the tide comes out, when it's all said and done, we're going to always be able to tell where we are. And it's really not for other people. It's for yourself. So words don't really teach. You must take action. All right. So I'm going to quickly tell this story. So when we talk about the book of Matthew, one of my favorite books, right? Said, let's go to Matthew. Talk about the book of Matthew. And in the book of Matthew, there is a story where Joseph, who was said to be Jesus's father, was set to marry Mary. And Joseph was set to marry Mary. And when he was set to marry Mary, he found out that Mary was already pregnant. And he was like, okay, listen, I'm going to divorce you in private because I don't want to disgrace you out in front of these people. But I'm not about to marry no pregnant woman. That ain't my baby. Like, I ain't your baby daddy. I'm not about to marry you, right? And so he received the word from God. And God said, no, you're going to marry her. And you're going to take her as your wife. And you're going to do what I tell you to do. All right, cool. So he was like, all right, he was obedient, right? He said, okay, let me do this. And so as he did it and he started receiving the messages and the words, he ended up having dreams that ended up saving his life. Because in this book, in this Matthew, I think it's 1 and 2 that I read. I didn't go into 3 because I didn't want to just read the Bible. I wanted to study the Bible. So 1 and 2, you can find this in Matthew 1 and 2. He listened, he was obedient. And then we found out that King Herod, right? And I may be mispronouncing it. King Herod found out about the baby that Mary was carrying, Jesus the messenger, and said, well, you know what? I don't know what's going on, but go over there and check that out. Check that situation out. So he sent his folks. They went over there. They checked the situation out. They were elated. They were like, okay, boom. The kid, we found the child. Yes, they gave him gold and all this stuff, and they were so happy. But when they got ready to go back to King Herod, they received the message not to go back to King Herod. So they went a different way. And so because they went a different way, this made the king angry. And when it made the king angry, he ordered every 2-year-old boy in the vicinity to be killed. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. I'm going to tie it all in if you're not. He's pissed. So he's like, wait a minute, I want everybody dead. Have you ever been in a situation in your life where you're like, why am I getting all this pressure? Why are these people coming at me? I'm just born. I'm just here. I'm just at this new job. I'm just in this new family. I'm just in this environment. I may not see the calling that's on my life. I may not see all that I have within me, but you see it, and now you're sending people to attack me. Why are you doing this, right? And so sometimes we're in those situations and we may want to go. And so during that time, Joseph had another dream, and he had another dream. And in this dream, the angels or God revealed to him and said, listen, they want to kill Jesus. You got to get up and you got to move. And so Joseph got up and they moved, and they moved the child, and they were not, they didn't kill Jesus. And so one last part is, after it was all said and done, when King Herod was finally, he had died, his son and Joseph and Jesus and Mary wanted to go back to where they had came from. They received another message. Nope. King Herod's son is now ruling. Don't go back. Now you're going to go here. Now that message, they had received the prophecy that they were going to Nazareth ahead of time, but they couldn't see it with everything that was going on. So let me tie this into your finances. The first question I want to ask you is, do you know where you are? Have you assessed your current situation in your life, right? Because a lot of times we don't do basic things like create a budget, right? Oh yeah. What season are you in? Are you in the season where you're like, listen, I know you're telling me to marry this person, but you know what? I'm not ready to do that, tying it back into the Bible. Not literally marrying, right? And so I want to understand that the Bible is a book of stories and teachings for you to tie it into your life. So let's tie this back in. Gosh, I want to go here, but it's not looking like I want it to look like. She already pregnant, and that ain't what I signed up for, so I'm going to leave. Gosh, I want to do this financially. I want to do this in my life, but it's looking like I didn't sign up for this, and I can't really see it the way I need to see it right now, so I want to leave. Are there messengers that are coming to you and saying, hey, chill out, I got you. I got you. So the first thing I want you to do is, again, do you ask yourself where you are? Have you assessed your current situation? Do you want more money? Do you want more finances? Do you want a bigger job? Do you want more income? Do you want $1 million house, but you aren't being a good steward of the house that you have now? Have you assessed your current situation and asked, why am I here? Right? Because we can't move when we're ready to move. We have to move when it's time to move. You'll know when it's time to move. Something that's been resonating in my spirit all week is, I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush. I am not in a rush. So when you understand that, you say, wait a minute, what season am I in? Let's go back. I want to have multi-million-dollar investments. Have you done the basics? Have you created a budget? Have you created an emergency fund? The second thing I want you to ask yourself is, are you receiving the messages that are being sent your way? Are you receiving? Are you receiving the messages? Are you having those dreams? Because remember, Joseph was having the dreams, and he was having the dreams and not just sitting on the dreams. He was having the dreams and was like, oh, we got to do this. Oh, we have to go there. How many times do we get messages and we ignore them? Here's a hint. The education that's on the Henderson Financial Group are messages for your financial freedom. You want to be financially free. You want to do things differently. You want to build a legacy for your family. Are you receiving the messages and ignoring them, or are you receiving the messages and making the call? Are you receiving the messages and saying, you know what, Mr. Henderson, you said that. You know what, Antonio, you said that. You know what, Hyacinth, you said that. You know what, Tavares, you really said something that resonates with me and it aligns with what I have been asking for. And instead of me just having the dream and going back to sleep, or having the dream and not moving and risk being killed. Can you imagine if Joseph had the dream, didn't move, and they came in and killed Jesus? Could you imagine? So a lot of times you have to ask yourself, am I getting these messages and I'm not making that call? I know I'm at this job that I need to leave. I know I need to create a budget. Hyacinth has been teaching about a budget for years. I know that I need to create a budget because every time I look up, I'm at somebody's restaurant. And every time I look up, my checking account and my savings account are low. Are you having the messages? Do you have the dream, but you're ignoring them? And here's some of the things that you may be missing in your field, right? Are there layoffs going around in your field? Are they bringing in new robots? Are they bringing in new systems? What is going on that may be telling you, maybe indicators, messages that, okay, it's time for you to move? And then after you get the messages, after you receive the messages, are you actually taking the action? Remember, Joseph didn't dream and stay. Joseph didn't have the dream and say, all right, well, that was a good dream. I'm going to just tell my homies about it. Y'all, can y'all believe I had this dream? That's crazy, right? Right? That's crazy. Or he didn't say, you know, in relating this to you, you know what? I have a feeling that I need to apply for this position. I have a feeling, you know, this person came to me and said to me, look, I have this opportunity for you. And I was just thinking about that, an opportunity like that. I was just praying and asking and journaling about an opportunity. I was just asking about an opportunity. And this person came up to me and said that they had something that was right in alignment. But I was like, I ain't ready yet. Could you imagine if that happened? What are you holding up by not taking action? What are you risking by not taking action? So tying this back into me sitting here every Saturday morning in my home, which I love so much, it's like utopia here, right? And say, all right, Hyacinth, let's recognize the fine line. Are you being stuck into the vibration of fear, or are you going to raise up out of that fear and say, all right, it's all right, you can venture out into the world? What are you doing, Hyacinth? These are the conversations that I have with myself. Are you going to be stuck in fear, or are you going to raise out of that fear? Are you taking action? Are you receiving the messages? Because you've already been told to move, and then taking action. So with all the wisdom, the knowledge, the pure education that we share on the Henderson Financial Group page, what are you doing with it? One of the first things that you do when you contact the Henderson Financial Group, if you're a new client, you have to go through a discovery call. And a discovery call is a session with me where I get to learn a little bit more about your finances, you get to learn a little bit more about the firm, and we see how we can work together. I always ask, do you watch us on Facebook? And I say we put lots of free information and education on Facebook. And we do that so that maybe it's 1 o'clock in the morning, you reviewing your finances and you thinking about your finances, or you looking at your accounts and you don't like it, you can go tap into that education. And so I ask this question, and sometimes people say, no, I didn't know. The person who referred me did not tell me about the Henderson Financial Group Facebook page. So y'all, this is a virtual slapping on the hand. When you refer people, tell them about the Facebook page so they can get the education. Also, if you're a client of the Henderson Financial Group, tell people about the Facebook page. And then sometimes people say, oh yeah, somebody told me about it, but I ain't watched the videos yet. And I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. Let's go on with the discovery call. And then I'll speak to people and I say, I did a video on that. Did you watch the video? No, I didn't watch the videos. Okay, let's go forward. And so what I want you to understand is that when we put this information up here, it is free for the low price of FREE. It's free 99. Financial education and information that can really get you to change your mindset, to change your life, so that you can change your bank account, so that you can change the legacy, so that you can change your wealth building ability, so that you can change your future and your children's future. So again, I want to go back what I started with. Words don't really teach. True knowledge comes from your own experience. Words don't really teach. They do a little something. I do a little motivation. You're like, oh, Hyacinth, you got me pumped up, girl. You be in there, you be going, you sound like a preacher, whatever. Yeah. And then if you roll over and do the same thing you was doing for the past 20, 30, 40 years, you're missing the mark. Motivation is temporary. You got to take action to make some change. All right, so 3 things that you can do today or over the long weekend. I didn't say next week. I didn't say next month. I didn't say next year. 3 things that you can do. Number 1, it's the beginning of a new month. I want you to write these things down. If you don't write it down, run the tape back. It's on Facebook forever. I'm going to put it on my YouTube. It's going to be on my YouTube forever. Run the tape back. Number 1, spend time with your money. Spend time with your money. Make a budget. Make a budget, update your budget, review your budget, spend time with your money. I tell people all the time that your budget is like your bae, your babies, and your bestie. If you don't spend time with your bae, don't be upset when somebody calls you and tells you, girl, I've seen such and such out here on the streets and he is over here looking real cozy with this woman at this restaurant. When the last time you said, girl, I ain't spent no time with him? The equivalent is, I'm looking at my accounts, I'm looking at where I am and my bank accounts and my investment accounts. Look how they looked last year. Well, how much time have you spent with your budget? How much time have you spent with your money? Because you can't possibly expect to keep a bae if you're not going to spend time with the bae. You can't possibly expect to keep some money if you ain't going to spend time with some money. If you ain't going to sit down and say, you know what, it's the first of the month, get up, let me do my budget, right? It's time. So that's what you're going to do this weekend. Spend time with your money. What does that look like? Creating a budget, canceling some subscriptions. Those sneaky little things that we just signed up for and we forgot, and some of them we signed up for and we don't use anymore, or we signed up for and we said, oh, it's free for 3 months, and after 3 months, I'm going to cancel it. Child, please, it's been a year. Cancel those subscriptions Increase your savings budget. Most people have an unlimited food budget. Ask me how I know. I review numbers all day long. Most people have an unlimited food budget. I want to eat it. I like it. It looks good. I'm swiping. Keep that same energy when it comes to your savings and investments. Right? So we don't want to miss the message. We don't want to ask for a sign, and you don't want to have the messengers come. You don't want to have the dreams. You don't want to have the resources and end up getting off with your head, right? Remember, Jesus could have been dead if Joseph didn't get up and say, y'all, we got to go, right? So your family's prosperity is riding on you getting these messages or missing these messages, right? All right, so I already said put a cap on your eating out budget. That's the first thing. Second thing, assess your personal earnings abilities. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. It is you, it is you, it is you. It is you. Remember when I told you, when Jesus was born, he was just a little baby. He didn't even know his potential. Lots of times other people know your potential, and that's why you have so many attacks on your life. That's why you have so many obstacles that you have to get through, but people see it. So what you're going to do this weekend is spend some time and say, what am I sleeping on? Give me some clarity. My gratitude affirmation yesterday was clarity. Thank you for the clarity on things that I am missing. Ask for clarity so that you can assess your earnings potential. What are your gifts? What are your talents? What are things that you can be doing to make a change so that you can step into the next level of your wealth and abundance? How can you wake up your abundance instead of complaining about what other people aren't doing? Because when you complain about what you don't have, when you talk about what you ain't got, when you talk about what your boss, your boyfriend, or your bae ain't doing, then you can stay stuck in that vibration. But when you come up out of that vibration and say, hold up, let me see. They may see something I see. It's a terror over here pretending to be a weak trying to get next to me because she sees something that I don't see in myself. Let me assess my earning abilities. What gifts, talents, and resources do you have? That's the second thing. The third thing is review your life insurance policies or call the Henderson Financial Group to obtain a new policy, 305-825-1444. So you're either going to review your insurance policies, and also you may call us for a checkup. Like, I got this policy. I don't really know what it means, but I know y'all been dropping those messages in my spirit for the past 2 years on Facebook, or it's been a year on Facebook and however many years on radio. And I'm tired of ignoring them. I'm ready to get into my life insurance because now I understand the power of life insurance. And maybe you don't understand the complete power of life insurance, but it's something that keeps coming up for you, so you know that you need to do it. So we're going to review our life insurance policies or call and obtain a new policy. Remember, life insurance policies are not just for death. You need them, especially if you have children. You need a life insurance policy. We don't want to be the GoFundMes and the fish fries and the check sodas. You need a life insurance policy. Get your life insurance policy. However, we use them in a way to build wealth, and we've been teaching that for years. So that's your third thing you're going to do. And here's the bonus. The bonus that we're going to do is we're going to get quiet. Earlier this week, when, I said, okay, let me go back, right? Because I was raised in the church, even though I was a PK kid, and me and my brother, shout out to my big brother, Robert Henderson III, we were fighting in the pews when my mama was in the pulpit. I still picked up a little bit of what was being put down. So I know I needed to get quiet. So I'm going to ask you for your bonus this long weekend. It's a lot going on, especially if you live in South Florida. Get quiet. Get quiet and ask, what season am I in? Because a lot of times we don't know. We don't know if we're coming or going. We don't know if we're supposed to be staying through this. And yeah, I know she's pregnant, but stay through this. I'm going to show you some things. Yeah, I know it's difficult right now, but stay through this. I'm going to show you some things. Or if we're in a season of, okay, you had the dream, it's time to get up and go. Okay, you stayed through it. Now I've given you the knowledge, the wisdom, the information. Now it's time for you to get up and go. What season are you in? Or are you in the season of, okay, I had the dream. I went through that process, the learning process. Now I got the knowledge and the wisdom and the education, because you don't get wisdom until you put it into action. So now I got the knowledge and the education. Now it's time for me to make steps, to take action, to turn it into wisdom, so that I can be the one to teach the people that come behind me. So that I could be the one to teach my children and my grandchildren and my nieces and my nephews, because everybody in my family don't got good sense. But if I take action, then I can turn that education and knowledge into wisdom. And when I turn things into wisdom, people love wisdom. You wise people want to talk to you. You wise people want to learn from you. So are you in that season? What season are you in? Are you ready to divorce your goals and dreams when you should be waiting for messages, right? Have you received the messages of confirmation already and instructions, and yet you're still stagnant? Hyacinth, have you cleared COVID, you're fine, and you still, I ain't going nowhere. I told Bay earlier, but you can't come, we got to kiss with a mask on. And I thought about, like, girl, what are you talking about? It's kind of crazy. Girl, don't be stupid, right? Don't be crazy, girl, right? So I had to have that talk with myself. I'm being honest, because I don't want you to think I sit up here and I talk to you and I'm like, you know, it's so easy. I am sharing and encouraging you and motivating you, and I don't get $1 or a dime to do it. So I want you to ask yourself, have you received the instructions, and are you still being stagnant? Or are you transitioning? Are you evolving? So a lot of times when we're in those valley lows, right, in those in-between spaces, why is this happening to me? Baby, you evolving. You're not being tested, you're being trained. I'm talking to myself. I know they trying you, and I know you wanna, you know, they knocking you butt right. You know what I mean? I'm a 90s, 80s baby, right? I know you wanna do that, but don't do that, because you're being trained and you're evolving and you're transitioning and you're doing things. What season are you in? Or are you in the season where now the smoke is cleared, right? And so at the end of chapter 2 in Matthew, the smoke is cleared. It was fighting and all this stuff going on, and now they wanted to go back, and they said, now we're going here. The smoke is cleared, let's go there. The smoke is clear, and now it's time for you to move. It's time for you to step out of that season of scarcity. It's time for you to step out of that season of poverty. It's time for you to step out of that season of fear and move into the season of abundance. Move into the season of prosperity. Move into the season of awakening. What season are you in? So that's the bonus for this weekend. We got to get quiet, y'all. We can't be listening to Drake and Kanye's new album. Love them both. But we can't do that when we're trying to get quiet. Because when we get quiet, we need to be quiet so we can hear the messages that come in. We need to keep a dream journal. I just told you in the Bible, right? Basic instructions before leaving earth. Joseph was having the dreams and he was moving. Do you have dreams? Dreams, any dream that you can remember is a message. If you don't remember, because we have lots of dreams. If you don't remember it probably was a little this, a little that. But any dream that you can remember was a message. So are you going to keep a dream journal? And when I say dream journal, don't have to be nothing fancy. I think the notebooks on sale for 25 cents now because it's back to school. I wake up, I roll over, and I write down what I dream. What season are you in? Get quiet this weekend, all right? So, are you missing the messages is the title of today's show. And what season are you in? I'm going to quickly scroll through, see what comments. I got people coming in. I am my greatest asset. Miss Ward is here. Everybody is here. Mr. James T., who has been a wonderful, beautiful example and mentor. Thank you so much. He is here. He says, you are your greatest Hyacinth. Brand the Hyacinth Henderson Show and touch on all the topics that are relevant to today's issues and your audience. Much love. I appreciate that. You have the Understanding Money Part 2 show coming up at 10:15. So I didn't set it up yet, so it may say like 10:20 on the notification, but they're going to be on time. They're going to be on time at 10:15, okay? So ignore the notification and be here at 10:15 so that you can get some more information. And remember, words don't really teach. They motivate. They can inspire, but they don't really teach. Your true knowledge comes from your own experience. Until then, stay safe and stay sane. Peace. Oh, and I'll be in the studio next Saturday. I don't know about Wednesday because that's my social distancing, Mr. Henderson. We'll talk about that later. But next Saturday, I will be back in the studio because I'm stepping out of the season of fear and I'm walking into the season of, okay, you learned, you got your messages and your lessons. Let's keep it moving so we can grow. All right. Until next time. Peace.